So I'm live, but I can't get the live stream message.
No, it's.
Test. Yeah, there we go. We're live, but it's not on the website yet, which is not brilliant. But luckily we're about 15 minutes away from kickoff, so we can have another go. Why aren't you working? You don't think you've run out of data?
No, it's uploads.
Yeah.
You need to know what would. All the people who were watching the stream were Kate's family.
Were they? Nice. Oh, we haven't yet. No, we're live. There's a viewer.
Okay, I mean, if you got something to say, let's take it back.
Move it down a second.
I mean, this is the game of the day, but I'm so knackered.
Yeah.
We can watch the whole thing back.
I know.
I don't know what to go back. It's too traumatic.
You'll see the real pain.
I know. Oh yeah, we can actually see the pain. Spoke to Ralph a few times.
Are you ready?
It's already on.
Oh, fantastic. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Cam FM stream. I am Matt Griffiths, and I'm joined by Joshua Corver-Hoffman, and we are here and raring to go with live commentary via YouTube live stream on the Reserves Varsity football match here from the Oxford City Football Ground. We're in the Velocity Stadium, and what promises to be a fantastic game awaits us. We have a strong Falcons side taking on the Oxford Centaurs, and I think we should be in for a cracker. I'll just quickly run through what we think the Cambridge lineup is. We do not have the same information for Oxford, unfortunately, but the Cambridge lineup, starting in goal, is going to be number 1, Jake Barker, who's a first year PhD student from Corpus. We have Torres at right back, the second year Edmondson student. The centre backs are Sam Ernest, vice captain from Churchill, and Matt Page of Lucy Cavendish. The captain, Nick Sweeney, is at left back. He'll be wearing number 3 shirt. He's doing his MPhil at Darwin, having previously done his undergrad at Jesus, returning to play his second Falcons Varsity this year. In central midfield, we have James Wiseman, the second year at Gonville and Cheese, not the NBA basketball player. Then we have Cassidy Ashworth, the Fitzwilliam central midfielder. And on the right wing, we have Jed Adagbu, has been dabbling with the Blues this season. Really, really talented player. That'll be exciting to watch. He'll be joined by his Fitzwilliam colleague, Tom Randall, who'll be playing in the number 10 position, the central attacking midfielder, silky smooth on the ball. I'm really excited to see how he impacts the game. The left winger will be Percy Verity from Robinson. He's up for a good game. And then we believe it to be starting up front is Joey Dalton of Magdalen College, with the substitutes named on the bench as Alfred Lawrence of Kings, Joe Helm of Churchill, Jay Paul, Luca Martins, Thomas Edmondson, and Ola Uganeke. That is the Cambridge lineup. They are going to be coached by the same coaches as the Kestrels. Nick Gallagher and Ryan Hoffman, looking very dapper as usual, are going to be coaching them. And the players have finished their warm-ups. They've gone back into the changing rooms for their final 5 minutes of preparation. Hello to all of you who are watching. Please do share if you think that there are other people who'd like to hear coverage of this game. I'm afraid you've only got our faces and our live commentary. We do not licensed to show you the game live, but it's going to be a fantastic evening of sport here on Cam FM. Anyone who's taking respite from a bit of England, Wales, or who simply isn't interested, hello, Scottish viewers. I'm here with Josh as my co-commentator. Josh, what are your thoughts before this massive, massive game?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Matt, I am absolutely exhausted. We've just done 2 football matches and we're going for I don't think I've ever watched 3 live football matches in a row, full 90 minutes. So we saw the first one where the Kestrels of Cambridge lost. We saw the second one where the Eagles of Cambridge won. So we're looking now, obviously, to try and win 2-1 overall in this game. It's going to be tough. I think from speaking to the players, they haven't had the best run of form this year in the league, the uni seconds. So it's going to be tough for the Falcons. But I think they have got some really talented players in there. I'm particularly looking at who am I looking for on this team? Out of the starters, I'm looking obviously for Captain Sweeney. He's got to step up today. Randall, I think, is a fantastic football player. Percy Verity as well, and Adagbu. I think those are my players to watch today. If they all play at their best, the best that they can play, then I think they can win this game. But it is going to be a really tough one. But I'll be absolutely over the moon if we can get a result today.
Absolutely. And I think you've named the key players in this team. Nick Sweeney. I would add to that list Sam Ernest. Ernest and Sweeney are the enforcers, the experienced men at the back. Sam Ernest playing, I think, his 3rd varsity match for the Falcons, which obviously is a tremendous achievement. Sweeney's returning for his 2nd, and those 2 are the enforcers at the back. Following on for, the creative man in the middle, Tom Randall. He needs to play well to give Cambridge a chance of winning. As the advertising boardings are being crashed into on the far side of the pitch by the Cambridge supporters, Nick Sweeney leads out his 11 alongside the Centaurs captain. If you'll give me a moment, Centaurs captain here. Oh.
It is a program that is
the Centaurs captain Hamish Dodd alongside Nick Sweeney, and the players take up their positions on the centre circle for team photos. Joey Dalton does get the nod to start. The rest of the team is, as I said, Oxford wearing a Pride captain armband. Really nice gesture from them. That's fantastic stuff. The players are shaking hands in the centre circle, and we should be kicking off in just a couple of minutes' time. So if you are watching the stream, get ready because it's about to start. So the Oxford 11 as they come past is Dodd, Austin, Harding, Oritz, Goldstein, Webb, Fester, and Birch. Who's this on the left-hand side? Yeah, Austin lining up on left wing. Captain Dodd up top. Wow. The atmosphere here is absolutely electric. Joey Dalton just discards a water bottle on the side of the pitch and the players line up. I have to say, I am extremely nervous. I know quite a few of the boys playing in this 11, and we would really love to see. Last year, the Falcons lost 1-0 in this match, a contentious disallowed goal for Matthew Harris, who's now stepped up and is now playing Blues football, which is fantastic news for him. He's now playing Blues, but his goal last year was disallowed, and the Falcons came away with a 1-0 loss in those very controversial circumstances. But let's hope that this year we don't get a repeat. As the sun sets over the Oxford City Football Club Stadium, here known as the Velocity, I have to say it's a fantastic setting for what promises to be a cracking game of football. It's a beautiful, clear day. The breeze has just calmed down a bit. If you were with us for the earlier women's game, it was quite blustery, and the Kestrels versus the Colts game earlier. Just to give you a quick roundup of what's happened today so far, we've had a real feast of football. It was the men's third varsity, the Kestrels versus the Colts. It was an even game, 1-1 at full time. The Kestrels probably had the better of it during the 90, but unfortunately lost on penalties. The Eagles versus the Furies, the Cambridge Eagles, the women's second team, played a fantastic game and went 2-0 up in the first half and just managed the game to perfection. The players have just swapped sides. So Cambridge at this first half will be attacking right to left. I think that was a tactical decision by Oxford. They won the toss as the sun is just setting, and it might be just in the eyes of Cambridge goalkeeper Jake Barker. Oxford lining up, obviously attacking left to right. It's their kickoff. Oh, wow. What a treat we're in store for here. Josh, any thoughts before kickoff?
Just to say that this is going to be a really tough game, and I can't see it being high scoring, but I think that Cambridge, if they can get to a flying start, maybe get an early goal and hold that lead defensively, then we'll be in for a very good game. But if they just sit back a bit from the beginning, don't go out after the game from the start, then I think maybe they'll be sitting back for the majority of the match, which is always hard to sustain. So as the ref just checks all the goalkeepers that they're all right, when we're set to start, I'm going to pass back to you, Matt, to commentate for this match.
Thank you very much. And we're away. Straight away back into central midfield, and the ball is cleared forward, and Joey Doltz has his first run down a channel. It's well covered there by the Oxford centre-back, who I believe is Ollie Harding there, the fourth year from Mansfield. So just due to our press box position here, throw-ins down the corner of this left side. A good call from Sweeney as he wins the header are a little bit harder for us to spot. Here we go then. Cassidy Ashworth takes the ball and plays a calm pass into his right back Torres, who just wins the throw-in off the Oxford winger Webb. And it's Torres' throw into play. Dalton trying to hold up the ball. He's just dispossessed there, but it's won back by Tom Randall, looking very silky smooth. He plays a good ball into Percy Verity, the left footer on the Cambridge right wing, and he's gone past his fullback there. Ed Birch is struggling to deal with Verity's pace. He lays it back to Torres, who cuts the ball back across, but it's cleared confidently and out of the stadium, in fact, over the opposite stand for a Cambridge throw-in, which Torres shapes to take. Pretty frantic start here, but we have the Cambridge comfortably inside the Oxford half, and James Wiseman's questionable mullet blows in the evening breeze. The Cambridge number 8 there standing, patrolling the central midfield region. Cassidy takes the throw-in off Torres. It's back to Cassidy, and he sweeps it inside to the number 5. Number 5 there, Matt Page, plays a nice ball out to Captain Sweeney. Sweeney makes ground up the left touchline and tries to play a ball to Jed Odagbu. Unfortunately, he's dispossessed, and it's the Oxford central midfielder, number 10 there, I believe, if I can just see his number. Oh, no, there's a ball up from the fullback, and it's intercepted. Wiseman takes the ball. Cassidy Ashworth there, so composed on the ball, not fast. Sammy Ernest takes the ball back from him and spreads the play to Nick Sweeney. Sweeney passes to Matt Page. The Falcons are looking good here, playing some nice attacking football. Attempted float ball over the top is headed away confidently by Ollie Harding. Doltz wins it back, though, and turns it around the corner for Jed. Jed cutting inside. He stood up his man, and he's gone past him. Oh, number 2. No, the ref says that he's played the ball there. The Falcons won't be happy. Wiseman looks to pressure James Webb, and he's lost the ball, and it's a Oxford throw-in. But the offside flag was up against Jed anyway, so it would not have counted. So, yeah, the Oxford lineup is Captain Dodd alongside Ollie Harding. Their right back appears to be Ed Birch. Is that correct?
Not sure.
Yes, it is. Yeah, the right back is Ed Birch. The left back on the other side of the pitch is on the far side, so we can't actually see his number. Anyway, here comes number 45, who is Almanza. Almanza would be the left back, but he's dispossessed, and it's out for a throw-in to Torres. Torres looks to float the ball in. Tom Randall touches it down. Very composed from Randall. Back to Torres. Torres looks inside, plays it back to Sam Ernest. Ernest takes a touch and sweeps a long, ranging ball, which is dealt with by Birch, headed to his fellow fullback, Almanza. But he gives it straight to Percy Verity, the left footer there, who plays it back to Torres and back to Sam Ernest. It's some passing football here by the Falcons. Ashworth turns it to Matt Page. Matt Page forward over the top to Adagbu. Ed Birch wins the header against Adagbu. Sweeney collects the loose ball but can't find a teammate. And Matt Page has to step in to clear rather agriculturally, but there's a mistake. And Joey Dalton's in. And Joey Dalton's put it just wide. Oh, it's a corner. It was deflected. Oxford captain, Centaurs captain, Mr. Dodd had a real failure of the brain there. And Dalton was through on goal, but Dodd did well to sort of put him off his shot, and it just took a deflection and went wide. Do you have any quick thoughts there, Josh?
Such a missed opportunity there for Cambridge. I hope they don't ruin the mistake.
The ball swung in, and it's claimed well by the Oxford keeper. The man on the sticks is Colin Welch, and he's dressed in his all-yellow kit. Oxford in their traditional dark blue, Cambridge in all light blue, with a bright yellow fluorescent keeper top. Here's Tom Randall claiming possession off the goal kick, and he sends through Jed, who's out-muscled, it appears to be, by Ollie Harding. Yeah, Harding did well there with the extreme pace of Jed, and he's out for a goal kick. Josh.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I mean, Percy Verity, the one thing, it was about 5 minutes ago now, but he had such a good run there on this right-hand side. He turned the defense this way, and that they couldn't deal with him. He passed it back to Torres, and the ball into the box wasn't good enough. But he looks like a real threat. And Oxford look like it in this early stages. As I said, if Cambridge go after the game, put them under pressure, then they're looking nervy. And Cambridge actually had a massive chance there, and hopefully they can get another one.
Oh, speaking of, Joey Dalton definitely has the running on Ollie Harding here. The Oxford right centre-back is not enjoying Dalton's movement, and Captain Sweeney with a lofted cross there, almost set Dalton free, but it was put out behind by Harding for another corner. I think it is Adagbu who's on the corner kick duty. He swings another ball in, floated again, and the keeper claims again. The Cambridge left back there, Nick Sweeney, jumping for the header, was rather late. The keeper had already caught the ball and clattered into him, but the referee plays advantage, and Welch clears the ball from his hands rather than put the ball down. Verity is dispossessed here by Webb, but Webb uses his body well and wins the free kick. It's taken quickly and played inside to Morrison there. Sorry, Harry Morrison in central midfield. And he plays a good ball out to the striker Festo. Oh, and that's well dealt with by Sam Ernest to clear the danger. It's not fully clear, though, as Almanza still has the ball deep in the Cambridge half, just by the corner flag. But it's good work there from James Wiseman to hack the ball away. And Dalton picks up the pieces. Here's Tom Randall in the centre circle. Cambridge look to break. Very nice touch from Randall. He's so composed. He floats the ball over the top to Doltz, who takes it down, but Dodd does well to sweep up any danger and just outmuscle Randall there. Oh, Cassidy Ashworth puts one in on the Oxford number 10, Morrison there. But the referee played an advantage. I think Ashworth might be quite lucky to escape the book there, as in that he definitely left his shoulder in on the Oxford man there. It's a throw-in, though, and it's Almanza to take on the far side from us. Long throw. Fester gets the flick on, but there's no one there, and Matt Page clears it into the middle of the park, where it's a bit of header tennis before Fester touches it down and tries to get away from Ashworth. He is still with the ball, sends it out to his left winger, whose shirt we just can't quite see at this point. He's number 45. If anyone on the live stream fancies to comment, I don't know how you'd know. Well played by Ashworth, though. He wins the ball back off Fester and plays it to Matt Page, who calmly spreads the play to Nick Sweeney. Back to Page, pressure from Webb, but Sweeney has the ball now and a bit of time to pick a pass to Tom Randall, who attempts to send a Dagbu round the corner in the channel, but it's intercepted by Oxford and put out for a throw-in, which Nick Sweeney takes on the Cambridge left. A flick on from Dalton evades Tom Randall, and the ball bounces back to Colin Welch in the Oxford goal. It's been a frantic start, it must be said. It's very end-to-end. Hoofed clearance by Welch, very high, but not very far, into the centre circle. James Wiseman collects the pieces and looks very composed and attempts to send Jed on his way down the left wing. Our view is slightly obscured, but I think it is shepherded out for a goal kick, and it is by Ollie Harding there, doing well in combination with his right back, Ed Birch. The two Oxford men there are going to have their hands full with Jed, so I'm not surprised that the two players are on the ex-Blues winger, because he does have an electric turn of pace. Joey Dalton's doing good chasing as Dodd switches it to his centre-back partner Harding, who sends a ball up towards Fester, but that's comfortably dealt with by Matt Page. Wiseman keeps it in, but can only put it as far as Harding. Ortiz does well in the middle of the park and passes it back to his central midfield partner Morrison. Oxford appear to be playing a similar 4-3-3 with the number 8, who I think is Vosper, is that? Certainly Morrison's in the midfield 3, as is Ortiz. And a long ball over the top from Harding again. Matt Page wins a flick, and Sam Ernest tidies up. He's passing it to Percy Verity on the Cambridge right-hand side. He knocks it back to Torres. Torres tries a lofted ball, but it's a good header from the Oxford skipper. And Ortiz finds himself in the pocket here. Tom Randall chasing back. He spreads it to the right winger there, who whips in across, but Matt Page again with a good header. His positioning's been very good in these opening exchanges. Your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, Cambridge actually look on top at the beginning of this game, and it makes me slightly nervous to say that, because whenever I think that about Cambridge, I think they need to get a goal to capitalise on this. So hopefully they can in the next 10 minutes or so. But they do look on top, and it is nice to see. Oxford do have, players with pace and who can get him in behind. But for now, I think Cambridge need to use this pressure, need to use this style, and before they get too tired, they need to take advantage. As it comes out to the Oxford left.
Here, Smalley, I beg your pardon. Number 8 is for Oxford is where is it? Smalley. So, there's a flash shot there. It's Ryan Smalley, sorry, it's the Oxford number 8. There's a sort of half chance there, which was flashed well wide, and it's a Cambridge goal kick.
That was a really good effort. It was a bit speculative, and it did go quite far wide in the end, but it's again what Oxford can do when you give them space, when you don't press the ball far high enough, when you don't press them fast enough, then they can get those kinds of shots away. And it was a nervy moment. In the end, it was well wide, but they will want to avoid any kind of nerves in the future from those kind of chances. But for now, it's an even game. Cambridge will be happy with this. 15 minutes or so into the game, 10 minutes or so, and it seems like Cambridge are doing well.
Yeah, I would say so too. So sorry, to clarify, we're just getting the Oxford team sheet now. So it's Ortiz is in the sort of cam position, the central attacking midfield, and he's flanked by Smalley and Robertson as the two sort of deeper lying midfielders, despite the fact that they're wearing number 8 and number 10 respectively. They are the two sort of sitting midfields, similar to the Wiseman and Ashworth of Cambridge. Here is Ashworth winning the ball back just inside his own half and attempting a sort of looping long ball through for Dagbu to chase, but it bounces through to Welch. He plays it to Dodd, who's the left centre back for Oxford there, who takes his time, turns around and passes it back to his goalkeeper. There's gesturing from Welch saying, give me options, and he knocks it back to Dodd. Oxford maintaining possession deep inside their own half. Cambridge looking quite compact here. They're happy to let Oxford have it here. Harding carries forward and attempts a long ball over the top. But again, Matt Page is there to win the header. Sweeney wins the header, and it's collected by Webb on the Oxford right-hand side. Dagbu attempts to challenge him, but he does well to pass through to Ortiz, and Ortiz is clipped by James Wiseman from behind, and that is correctly a Oxford free kick around 35 yards out, just sort of level with the edge of the box, as in the right-hand side of the box, about 5 to 10 yards in from the touchline and around 35 yards out. Good position for, who's that? Will it be Robertson to swing that in? Goldstein. Goodness me. He's been named 3 things so far. Oh, yes, it's Josh Goldstein. There we go. We've finally settled on who the Oxford number 10 is, and it is Josh Goldstein. And Goldstein is here to swing it in. And that's a floated ball very deep to the back post. The initial header's won, but that's not going to trouble Barker, and he collects the ball, and Cambridge regain their shape. So to clarify, number 10, we've named him 3 things. It is Josh Goldstein, and he is with Ryan Smalley and Ortiz as the Oxford 3. Here's Cashley Ashworth off the Cambridge goal kick, passing it to his midfield partner, Wiseman. Wiseman passed it to Sweeney. Sweeney attempts a through ball, but it just sort of bisects Tom Randall and Joe Dalton on the Cambridge sort of attacking pair and bounces harmlessly through to the Oxford goalkeeper. The Oxford have been quite good at maintaining possession in this back here, and it seems to be that Harding is the man who sends it long, and he does so again here, but to no avail, as Sam Ernest looks pretty comfortable there and takes a step into midfield. Joel Matipest, but can't find a teammate. Does on the second time of asking, and James Wiseman plays Dalton through, but the offside flag has gone up. It looked like a tight call, but I think it may have been the correct one. Josh, what are your thoughts on the sort of opening 15 minutes of play?
Dalton's playing really well. I think Dalton's making those runs in so then you can play the through ball to him. But if you don't, he's dragging defenders away so to make space for other players. So Dalton, I think, is being really, really important to this game so far. We picked him out at the beginning, the number 21, the second year at Magdalen. He's doing really, really well. If they can exploit the wings a little bit more, I think they can really get into this game.
I have to agree. Here's Sweeney with winning the header from the free kick from that offside. Sweeney does well, nods it down to James Wiseman, who uses his strength and passes the ball calmly back to Sam Ernest. Torres at right back there onto Percy Verity, another man who perhaps we could use his pace and open up this game. Here he is. Jed doesn't want to stray offside, but he does well, holds his width, and the pass doesn't quite get to him. It's quite readable there. Wiseman does well to put pressure on Webb, the Oxford right winger, as he tries to turn, and the ball once again bounces back to Welch, who's had a lot of the ball. Here's Harding in the right centre-back, peeling very wide to make an angle. The Oxford centre-backs aren't afraid to split, so they clearly trust the goalkeeper's ball-playing ability. Ryan Smalley here takes it inside his own half, being pressured by his fellow number 8, James Wiseman. And Tom Randall puts pressure on the Oxford skipper, who does a nice turn inside to make a little bit of space. Cambridge appear to be pressing a little bit, but only half-heartedly, as Oxford try and make it back. Wiseman wins a good challenge against Hardy, and the ball spins up and is collected by Ashworth. Ashworth into Randall. Randall plays it just square, but wins the ball back, and it's to Dalton, about 25 yards out. He sends a Dagbu down the left. What's Jed going to do here? Oh, gets a little bit of push in the back. I think the ball's still in play, but I can't quite see. Captain Sweeney's calling for the ball. Sweeney gets the ball. He puts in a ball. It's high. It's looping. The keeper's dropped it, but it's reclaimed by him. In the end, no danger of anybody reclaiming that other than Welch himself. And the ball's in his hands and cleared. Miscued, it must be said. And the Dagbu's there. Oh, and it bounces over him and out harmlessly for a throw-in on this Cambridge left-hand side. It's going to be taken by Captain Sweeney, who's barking orders like he does. Never one of the more vocal members of this side. He tries an attempted through ball over the top, which I think is going to bounce harmlessly to the Oxford goalkeeper once again. It seems that there's been a lot of that where the Cambridge players in midfield are looking to play balls into the channel or a ball over the top, when I think, as you say, where Dalton has been at his best is when he's been either running into one of those channels to receive it to feet or creating space for Randall, who on the edge of the box you would not want with the ball and a little bit of space. Here's Sweeney again as the ball bounced around the midfield and eventually made its way to Cambridge left. Jed is dispossessed there by a well-covered Tom Webb. There's hands all over Joe Dalton there, and he wins a free kick as his captain passes the ball into him. He attempts to hold the ball up. Harding uses his hands to pull him out the way, a bit of wrestling to the ground, and wins the free kick just about 30 to 35 yards out. It's going to be the left foot of Percy Verity to cross this in, so it'll be curling away from goal, standing up at the back post. Who's up for Cambridge? All of the big men are up. Torres is back, and so both centre-backs and Nick Sweeney are up there. Here it is, floated in. Great ball. Oh, and that should be a corner, I think. That was the last touch, was an Oxford head, and it was. I think that came off Goldstein. He's getting the applause of his teammates for flicking that away. Could have been a crucial touch with Cambridge players arriving at the back post. He did well. It's Verity's going to be to deliver again, so hopefully you can have a similar quality of delivery. All the big men stay up. Sam Ernest, Matt Page, and Nick Sweeney are all in a train If you think England 2018 World Cup, they're standing on the edge of boxes of 3. They've broken ranks. The corner comes in and it's very deep and it's just gone straight out. Unfortunately, Verity overhit that one. Josh.
Might have been helped by the wind a bit. That corner went all the way out of play for a goal kick. Cambridge looking good. Verity looking very good. I'm confident at the moment for Cambridge. I can't see, unless there's some kind of flash of brilliance from Oxford, we haven't seen any players particularly asserting themselves on this game, rather. And Cambridge have players that are looking very bright. Verity among them, Dalton among them, Wiseman among them. So at the moment, Cambridge have the better of the play. But as I say, that means nothing unless you get a goal.
Absolutely. Well, here's a chance as Jed gets the ball and does brilliantly well to win a corner. No, it's been given as goal kick. I can't believe that. The ball came over the top from Sammy Ernest, and Jed did really well to touch it down and run in between centre-back and full-back before it's bundled out of play. Neither for a corner nor for a penalty, but just a goal kick. Oxford were pretty lackadaisical with their short goal kick there, and Joe Dalton came flying into pressure Ollie Harding, and as he went for a hoof upfield from the back, almost by the byline inside his own box, Dalton got a hefty deflection on it, and the ball spun up over the stand and into the car park, and it's another goal kick to Oxford. But as Josh said, Oxford seems to be very penned in their in this opening start. As you can hear around us, we're in the Oxford side of the ground. It's quite a subdued atmosphere. All the noise is coming from the Cambridge boys behind the Oxford goal, which I imagine imagine they'll migrate across the other way. As we're talking, the sun is fading and the players have starting to appear to have multiple shadows from the floodlights as the evening draws in. Torres here needs to deal with a bouncing ball, and he does it just about with enough composure. He's under a good pressure there from the Oxford forwards and puts it out for an Oxford throw. And as you can hear, the noise from the Oxford supporters increases. Almantha takes the throw in to Fester, the large Oxford number 9. He's done very well to keep that in play. In comes the ball from Almantha, coming towards the back post. Sweeney's going to have to deal with that, and he does well. Webb collects the pieces and is challenging the Falcons captain for the ball. Smalley has a look at it. Here's Webb again, once again being jockeyed by Sweeney. Oh, the fullback Birch there gets a touch. The Falcons need to clear their lines, and they now do with Ashworth collecting the pieces. But Smalling steps in ahead of Dalton, and the Falcons still can't get it out of their box. The Centaurs are playing really well here. But now Webb does well and wins the throw-in in the far corner. Here's Fester. Oh, no, sorry, Smalley. Back to Webb. Webb looks to cross it into the box, and it's collected by Barker. Little bit of a scare there. Oxford had a little bit of extended pressure, and can't be. Oh, that's a sloppy throw from Barker, and the Almanza could read that like a book. And it comes to Goldstein on the edge of the box. He's going to shoot. Great block from Sam Ernest. Fantastic block there. Comes to Ortiz, who plays his left back again. The Oxford left back really getting some joy now. Another good ball. Sam Ernest clears it away though, and but only as far as Smalley. Dalton does the chasing, and it's back to Dodd and Harding, and the Falcons can now regain their shape as Oxford have it in just inside their own half. A good pass there, aiming for Webb, is intercepted by Sweeney. Tom Randall wins his first header at university. Apparently, he's never won a header for the Falcons before. So good is he with his feet. And here he is again. Unlucky. He's dispossessed by Goldstein as he attempted to turn inside him there. He's dispossessed, and the ball goes back out to the Oxford left back, Almantha. He plays the Oxford left winger, who, unfortunately, we can't see his name from our position, but we will get that for you before the second half. Verity carries the ball forward before it's quite agriculturally cleared by Dodd, but the referee judges it to come off the closing Verity, and so it's an Oxford throw-in again. Here's Sam Ernest winning the header from that throw-in, and James Wiseman gets a touch, but it's a poor touch, and it's picked up by Fester, who plays in Webb, who plays it around the corner for Goldstein, that was a huge opportunity for Oxford. Goldstein was played in round the corner by Fester, just off the edge of the D. He had time to take it first time. He had most of the goal to aim at, but he sort of tamely hit it down to Ryan Barker's left, who fell to his right and comfortably saves there. Here's Dalton after a large clearance. Good work from Adogbu and Dalton. Dalton on the edge of the box. He cuts inside on his right foot, cuts it back to Adogbu. Here plays Randall. Liquid football from the Falcons, and it's out for a corner. Really good defending from Dodd. Some fantastic heel flicks there. Tom Randall and Adogbu playing one-touch football to I think it was 2-1-2s there around two different defenders before Dodd came across from left centre half to tackle Adagbu as he went to pull the trigger just on the corner of the 6-yard box. In swings the corner again. Oh, and it's flicked away this time by, I believe that was Harding who flicked that away. And it's out for a Cambridge throw in. Pulsating stuff here in this opening half. I think we've been playing for 25 minutes approximately, and it is Cambridge 0, Oxford 0 in this Varsity Reserves game. The Falcons versus the Centaurs here from the Oxford City Stadium on Cam FM. I hope you're enjoying the coverage. One person who's listening. But the ball is cleared out to the halfway line and makes its way for a Cambridge throw. I'm going to pass to you, Josh.
Yeah, Oxford had a really, really good chance there. That was up there with the Dalton chance for Cambridge earlier. So each of them, I'd say, have an XG, roughly the same. Really, really good opportunity. Just couldn't quite get the ball out of his feet enough. If he had a better first touch, he probably could have, hit the ball a little bit harder, a little bit higher. In the end, it was just straight on the floor along to the goalie, quite a tame shot. But warning signs for Cambridge, it was one ball that exposed them there, and they need to be able to cut that out because they will look a little bit nervy if they carry on performing like that, I think, Matt. As Oxford play it, as Cambridge play it down the left-hand side, and Randall just tries to deal with it in the centre. The number 10 does well, gives it back all the way to Sam Ernest in the centre-back position. Back out to Torres out wide right, and then back to Ernest and back to Matt.
Thank you. Yeah, here's Page. Page with his left foot clips it up pitch to Dalton, who gets a little touch on it around the corner to Adagbu, but Adagbu is offside. I thought that might be the case. Adagbu just needed to time his run here. He would have been onside from the initial ball, but just because Jed got a little touch on that, just because Joe Dalton got a little touch on that, Jed had already beaten his man, such as his athleticism, and was therefore in an offside position. And it's Harding to take the free kick, 30 yards out of the Oxford goal. The ref blows his whistle to signal play can continue. And it's clipped over the top towards the big man Fester, and he gets a flick onto it. Wiseman jostling with Ortiz, and Ortiz comes away best. And Goldstein is dispossessed by Randall and fairly, and Ashworth clips the ball over the top for Percy Verity to run into. He's got in behind Almantha here. Here he is, the left-footed right wing, and he cuts inside onto said left foot, whips in a ball, and it's a goal! Joe Dalton scored a fantastic goal. What a header from Joey Dalton. Fantastic play from the Falcons. Ashworth calmly chipping it over the top. Percy Verity storming down the left-hand side, standing up his man, cutting in on that left-hand side, floating in a brilliant ball, and Dalton running to the near post, rises like a salmon and flicks it beautifully over the goalkeeper into the far top corner. Josh.
That is all about Percy Verity. Brilliant down that right-hand side. He's exposed the left-back multiple times now, and he does it again. This time he's allowed to cut inside, which should never be happening from the Oxford perspective. And he whips it in. It's the kind of ball that only needs a touch, and it's going to go over the goalkeeper. The pace on the ball from Percy Verity just gives it everything it needs. And then just a simple flick from Dalton, and Falcons take the lead. What a win.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Really good from Verity. I think the Almantha knew that he was going to cut inside, but he couldn't do anything to stop it. Such was the pace of the change of direction that he did. Meanwhile, we're back underway, and Sweeney's done well to get the ball to Adagbu, who plays a fantastic ball over the top to Tom Randall, who cuts inside his man, Bergkamp style, but Dodd does really well to get his body between Randall and the ball and shepherd it back to his goalkeeper, who can clear away to his midfield partner, Ryan Smalley. Back to Almantha. And here is the Oxford left winger, once again, the only player we can't name on the pitch, who knocks it back inside to Smalley, who does a nice little Cruyff turn to get a little bit of space away from Randall, but overhits his pass somewhat. Rush of blood to the head after the Cruyff turn, and Barker collects comfortably in his own 6-yard box. A little bit of time wasting as he makes the player run towards him to pick up the ball. To be expected from a slightly more experienced player. He may be in his first year at Cambridge, but he's definitely played plenty of football in his time as he's a PhD student. Left-footed kick comes straight to Dalton, who can't quite control it, but Wiseman does well to win the ball, and it's Ashworth has it now, and he spreads the play out to the Cambridge right to Torres. Torres looks up, passes it inside to Ashworth. Ashworth with a first-time ball out to Verity again, and he's faced one-on-one, and I think he's going to try and take him on. Oh, no, he cuts back to Tom Randall. Randall takes possession, rolls it inside, back to Verity. Verity now slides in Torres, who goes for the overlap, and he's checked off the ball by the left-back Almantha, who, I'm not going to lie, was a good 2 or 3 yards away from the ball, saw Torres flying past him at full speed and stepped across to shut the door. And indeed, it was obstruction and could only be given as a foul against the Oxford left back. Verity, whose delivery for that Dalton goal was absolutely superb, whipped in beautifully. Joey Dalton must have been over the moon when he saw that, whipped in towards him, a striker's dream as he ran forward and attacked it. Percy Verity standing over the ball just inside the far right touchline, looking to whip in an in-swinging cross with his left foot for the Cambridge forwards. Great ball in again. Oh, Page attacks it and almost gets the flick on, but just misses it. It comes off the back of Ollie Harding there and is cleared away by Oxford, collected by Ashworth, who passes it to Torres, who plays another ball over the top. Harding's there again. Randall wins the second ball with the second header of the match. Incredible. If you've got a collector's item, there's one of them. Adagbu does well to sweep up the loose ball and play it out to Verity, who chips in a ball for Randall to claim, and he does not win that header. And Welsh is big, is calm, and jumps up and catches the ball in his 6-yard area and plays it out to Ortiz on the edge of the centre circle. Ortiz was just caught by Cassidy Ashworth there, and Cass not going to get away with that one. It's a free kick to Oxford just inside the centre circle, just inside the Cambridge half. And Goldstein calmly, oh no, the referee's not happy with the position of the free kick. It happened inside the Oxford half. Harding stands over the ball, waiting to play it. Ortiz is showing for a short option, but it's going to be clipped over the top, long towards the Cambridge left winger, who flicks on well, and Sam Ernest clears that away for a corner under pressure from the Oxford number 9, Fester. The Falcons have done fairly well to just keep their heads here, but they're going to have to deal with an Oxford ball into the box. And the Falcons are not the tallest team, but luckily it doesn't seem neither the Centaurs. So a pretty evenly matched physical battle so far. Fester's lurking on the edge of the box. Matt Page is making sure that he knows he's there with keeping touch tight. The hands appear to be down, but Adagbu's been called back to mark Smalley, number 8, who's quite a lot bigger than him. In comes the cross. It's a good one. It's flicked on, but Barker claims that in his 6-yard area. The good flick on at the front post, but Barker stepped off his line, was big, was commanding, and caught the ball to avert any danger. Sweeney's showing for it here, and the Falcons captain gets the ball and carries it up the line. He's going for a little run. Fester's all over him, and he's pulled his shirt there. He's surely ref. But no, there's nothing given. It's back to Matt Page, who clips the ball over the top for Dalton to chase. And it's well dealt with by Harding, who himself clears it up the pitch. But Austin, the left winger, who's made his way onto the right-hand side, attempted to flick that inside, but the ball had gone out of play, according to the lineman. So it's going to be Nick Sweeney's throw-in to take here on the Cambridge left. James Wiseman showing for him. There's a ball into Jed there. Adagbu takes it down well, and Dalton's still battling for it. He's kept it, and Tom Randall eventually wins another throw-in about 20 yards down the touchline, just towards the area where our view is somewhat obstructed due to the design of this press box. But Sweeney throws in the long throw. Randall wins his header, and it's Adagbu's ball to claim in the corner flag. He's kept it in and been dispossessed, but the whistle has gone, and it's going to be given as a Oxford throw-in. Oh, no, sorry, not an Oxford free kick. Adagbu, out of our view, must have just harassed Ed Birch, the Oxford right back, a little bit too much there. And in the eyes of the referee, has committed a foul. Harding sends this once again, looping high upfield, and Fester wins the first header, and Austin takes it down. Ortiz is running through, but Matt Page covers well and carries the ball out towards his own corner flag before blasting it up the sideline for an Oxford throw on their right-hand side, about 35 yards out from goal. It's going to be taken by Birch. In it comes, and Nick Sweeney calls for a foul throw. Ortiz takes the ball down, but gets it to his winger Webb, who gets the better of Sweeney this time, cuts it back, and Matt Page does well to see that out for a corner. Josh, any thoughts in the last 10 minutes?
It's been a bit of a back and forth game. No one really getting a clear sight of goal. Most of the football is actually happening in and around the centre circle. The central midfielders, as a result, are being key to this game. But at the moment, it's just one moment of magic that's given the lead to Cambridge. And other than that, it's been quite an uneventful game, actually.
Goldstein swings in the cross. Thank you, Josh. And it's a bit of pinball in the Cambridge box, but it's cleared away by Torres, who managed to get it to Verity and Varsity can use his pace here. He's got size, he's got strength, but a fantastic sliding tackle by Ortiz, the central midfielder there, wins the ball back, and he plays it out to Austin on the Oxford left wing. He's stands up against Cassidy Ashworth, and he goes past him, and he clips in the ball with his left foot, and the ball is eventually claimed by Ryan Barker? Yeah. Sorry, Jake Barker. Jake Barker does well to claim the ball, but I think he's injured his knee there. It looked like as he sort of went to catch that ball, he immediately caught the ball, took his little half step limping, and has just sat down. And it doesn't look too good for the Cambridge goalkeeper here. He's holding his left knee, and he looked quite tentative as he jumped. Just after he jumped and caught that ball, as he landed, he didn't look comfortable on landing, and he's immediately called for the game to be stopped. So it may be that we get the Morris, the replacement goalkeeper, might actually need to be called upon here, which is, I think, going to be the first time in some years that there's been a goalkeeper substitute in a varsity match. I wish I had that statistic on me. But yeah, they've been called. Oh no, okay. The game has been restarted. Barker seems to be soldiering on. We'll see we'll monitor that for you for the rest of the game. His kick is a bouncing, awkward one for Oxford to deal with, and I think it does go out for an Oxford throw as it came off Percy Verity's left shin last. So Almantha takes the Oxford throw in. He's got a very good long throw, and it's nodded on by Fester, but only to Matt Page, who blasts it upfield comfortably to Welch in the Oxford goal. He collects, and the game just settles down for a moment after quite a frenetic last 5 minutes. Here's Harding on the right-hand side of the Oxford box, just carrying it forward. I think another trademark punt, and there it is, over the top, comes towards Fester, who again wins his flick on, but there's nobody there on the second ball other than Sam Ernest, it seems, almost every time. Webb has collected the loose ball, though, off Ernest's head, and he calmly nudges it back to Ryan Smalley. Smalley plays it inside to Ortiz, about 35 yards out from goal, who sweeps it to Goldstein. Goldstein to Austin. Austin to Almanza. Very nice play from Oxford here. They've switched the play really nicely. Good pressure from Percy Verity there as he gets a foot in and wins. Doesn't win, but puts the ball out for a throw in and just checks Oxford momentum. They've got some good technical players on both teams here. The ball is, apart from the occasional Harding long ball up to Fester, the midfielders seem to be wanting to play with it on the ground, and that's good to see. The ball in from the left is dealt with by Page, and then a shot in is deflected off Sam Ernest, and Barker can claim that. And he once again teases Fester, pretending not to pick it up. The Oxford man runs over to him, and he does indeed pick up the ball just to get him to run that 10 extra yards. Sam Ernest is marshalling the troops and wants his defensive line higher, but unfortunately Barker's kick is not a good one, and it goes almost straight out of play for an Oxford throw-in about 5 yards inside their half. Almanza takes again, and it's another long throw up towards Fester, but Sam Ernest wins the header, and James Wiseman wins the ball in midfield, but can't hold on to it, and it's won back by Ryan Smalley in the heart of the Oxford midfield. He plays a fantastic ball over the top of Torres, and it's to Austin. Austin stands up his man and again puts in a decent ball, and Fester looking very, very, very dangerous there. It was a delightful ball from Austin, really teasing both the two Falcons centre-backs and the keeper. Not sure who was going to claim it. In the end, Barker did well and came out and claimed the ball, and he sends another left-footed clearance high into the night sky. Randall challenges Harding, and Harding wins the ball. Sweeney challenges Webb, but he does bump him in the, his shoulder was in the Oxford winger's back, and I think that's a correct decision to give a free kick. Harding standing over it again, and is, I imagine, going to be floated towards the back post. The physically imposing presence of the Oxford number 9, Fester, is really sort of causing trouble for Cambridge. He's winning most of his headers, but he hasn't got any support from his teammates. It looks like he just seems a little bit isolated at the moment. But a good challenge from Verity, and he wins it back off Austin and attempts to release Dalton into the channel, but Dodd has that covered and passes it back to Welch, who turns it around the corner to the right centre-back, Harding. Harding carries the ball up the pitch. Randall comes to sort of pressure him. Here comes the chip through ball. That's as his trademark. Sweeney wins the header, but Ortiz collects the second ball under pressure from Wiseman and does well and passes it back to Dodd. Dodd spreads the play out to the Oxford left, and it's with Almanza. Almanza passes it to Austin. Austin looking to come inside, does a little drag back to try and get around Torres, but Torres does well and sees the ball out for a Cambridge throw-in. It's been a very, very entertaining half of football. Another throw-in, and that was a foul throw, I agree. And the linesman immediately signalled that Torres is rather poor effort for a throw-in. was indeed illegal. So here comes the throwing comes in from Oxford, but is immediately dispossessed and given to Tom Randall, who himself is immediately dispossessed. And Harding sprays the ball out to Webb on the Oxford right wing. He's harassed by Sweeney and has to go inside. Dalton comes into pressure Goldstein, but he does well and passes it back to Webb. Again, who's confronted by Sweeney. Sweeney does well and wins the challenge against his the man he's marking. A ball around the corner, though, from Fester causes... Oh, who's got it? Smalley has it on the edge of the box and then gives it back to Webb. And Webb tries to square it. It comes to Ortiz on the edge of the box on his left foot. And there was a slip there from Wiseman, who's claiming a foul. But the ref sees it as coming together and no foul. But yeah, that was good play from Oxford. It was Goldstein to Webb, squared it to Ortiz, took a touch on his favoured left foot. And unfortunately for him, ballooned his shot sort of waywardly over the bar and into the stands where the Cambridge United fans stand gleefully to accept that wayward shot. Here comes Barker with the left-footed goal kick, and it's a good one, and it's into the Oxford half, finds Verity, but he can't control it. There's a bit of pinball in the midfield. Cassidy Ashworth wins a header and sends it to Verity. Verity tries to release Tom Randall, who hasn't quite been able to establish himself in this game, but that's a loose pass, and oh my goodness. Tom Randall putting pressure on Dodd, who attempted to pass it back to his goalkeeper Welch, and Joey Dalton read that and was onto that back pass in a flash, but the goalkeeper was out and the angle was tight, and he managed to save the attempt at goal and put it behind for a Cambridge corner kick, which once again it's from the right-hand side. Verity with his left foot swings it in. It's at the near post. The first man should deal with it and does. That was a poor delivery, not up to the standard that we've seen so far. Ashworth attempts to get it back to Verity on the corner of the right-hand wing position of Cambridge, but the ball bounces past him harmlessly for a goal kick. Here's Dodd. Deep inside his own half, standing in his own penalty area. Back to the goalkeeper on the edge of his 6-yard box. Back to Dodd. Cambridge are happy to let Oxford have it. I think they're pretty content with their 1-0 lead. The ball switched to Harding. Harding's going to take a touch and pump it up the field, as we've seen so far. The ball gets itself to Webb, and Webb attempts to flick it round Matt Page, but can't get to his own loose ball, and essentially tucks it around the corner and out for a throw-in. Nick Sweeney's asking the referee where he wants to take the throw-in from. I think he wants to gain a few extra yards. The ref signals there, and he takes it and gives it to Joey Dalton, who is dispossessed by Goldstein, who fires the ball out to Austin, who's challenged by a combination of Ashworth and Dalton, but gets the ball. Verity's onside here. The flag has stayed down and he's been released. He's got the better of Almantha again, but he's got he didn't feel comfortable cutting it back on his right foot there, and unfortunately it's out for a throw-in. I'll just quickly cut to Josh to see the last sort of developments of the first half. A foul throw given against Verity. Josh, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, Cambridge actually think will be quite happy with this. They managed to weather the Oxford storm there. They had a few chances, Oxford, but mainly Oxford have struggled to get into the Cambridge box. So Cambridge will be quite content with this. They've got the goal. I don't think they're necessarily expecting to go into halftime with the lead. So really impressive from Cambridge so far. They've kept Oxford at bay. Oxford have been forced to take long shots from outside the box, which haven't been good enough. The goalie hasn't been tested too much. So Cambridge will be content with a 1-0 lead. You always want to, even if the other team has possession, that's fine. You just want to make sure they don't penetrate your defense too much. You want to stay back. You want to stay, keep your offside trap working. And I think Cambridge have managed to do that so far. So going into this halftime period, which we're about to go into, I think Cambridge will be more than content with this.
Very good. Thank you, Josh. And so there's Wiseman winning the ball back off Ortiz in the centre of the park. And here's Randall with a delightful little flick to get round his man. And he cuts the ball back. Here's Dalton on the edge of the box. Goes to the first time volley, but it's over the top of the bar, unfortunately. There we go. Well, that was a little bit of excitement. There was a little flash of what Tom Randall could do. The bouncing ball coming towards him. He flicked it with his heel over to the head of his man and cut the ball back to the edge of the box where Joe Dalton was, but always with his back to goal. He was going to be struggling. Cambridge are looking to press a little bit higher here. They've been happy to let the centre-backs have it, but I think they've decided that actually they're not that comfortable under the ball on the ball when under pressure. But here is Dodd on the edge of his own 18-yard box. Randall and Dalton stepping off him just for now. The ball's into Goldstein, who's been harassed by James Wiseman. He now drops deeper as the ball goes back to Dodd. Dodd standing there with the ball, looking a little bit ponderous. His teammates aren't really giving him many options. And in the end, he decides to go long to Fester, but Sam Ernest wins the flick. But he wins the flick, and the linesman's flag gone up. The referee overruled him as Sam Ernest won the initial header. The cross comes into the 18-yard box from Austin and is headed over by Fester. Cambridge look a bit bemused. They thought that was offside. I think the referee made the correct decision as Ernest got his head on the ball, not Austin. So it was not Austin. I beg your pardon. Ernest got his head on the ball rather than Fester. So Austin was not in an offside position as when the initial ball was played, he was onside. Anyway, it's a goal kick, and here is Page just jogging out of his penalty area and passing the ball long to Joe Dalton. And I think that was a poor option. I think that there were midfielders showing from there, and Cambridge lose possession, and Welsh picks up the ball as he has many times this half as those loose Cambridge through balls bounce through to him. His kick is poor, and a great header by Ashworth sets in Joe Dalton, and he goes round the keeper. Surely he must score. What a fantastic finish. That was something out of nothing. A bit of brilliance by Joe Dalton. Cass Ashworth with the fantastic headed through ball. He saw the clearance from Welch was not good. He saw the gap, directed his powerful header between the two centre-backs who'd both split wide to make an option for their goalkeeper. Dalton charged through the middle, touched it round the onrushing Welch, who committed himself. Dalton went one way, the ball the other. They met on the edge of the 6-yard box for a tap-in goal. Josh, it's 2-0 to the Falcons.
I'm quite shocked, actually. I mean, I'm so impressed with the Falcons today. They've played so well. They've looked the better team for the majority of this game. There was that bit of Oxford pressure just before this goal. They managed to weather that, and then they came out firing. Dalton with his second goal of the game, which is exceptional. The first goal, deft header. The second goal, just running on, gambling, which you always want your striker to do. And then the goalie had an absolute nightmare, I think. I mean, he failed to either commit or non-commit. He kind of was stuck in no man's land there. And Dalton took a really nice touch around him, kicked the ball one way, went round the keeper the other, and managed to calmly put it into an empty net. And for the Falcons going into halftime 2-0 up, they will look now to just manage the rest of the game and just try and see it out, because this is what we saw in the last game in the Eagles. The women were 2-0 up at halftime. They managed to manage the game. They look really confident in the second half. So if Cambridge can keep doing this, and they look like they have the more talented players, to be honest, Cambridge, then we're going to see a second reserves varsity win today.
And that would be something if we can go away from Oxford City with two out of three. We'd certainly take that. And I'm absolutely delighted for Joe Dalton, who is quite a good friend of mine, and he's played fantastically well. He's been clinical with the two opportunities he has had, and the Falcons really doing a job on their Centaur counterparts. So, and just while you were talking there, Josh, there was a attempted through ball and an offside against Cambridge, and it was a free kick to Oxford deep inside their own half. Played to Dodd, who then passed it up the midfield, and it's now currently with Almanza, who's playing left back. It's back to Dodd inside his own half, spread across very calmly to Harding, who carries the ball just into the Cambridge half and attempts a slide rule pass straight to Fester. To be fair, he found his man, but Sam Ernest does really well and carries the ball out. Those long legs carrying him forward as he enters the centre circle. Attempts to play in Verity, but that's got far too much on it, and it's going to go out for a Oxford throw, as Ernest gave Verity a bit too much to do there. Almanza collects the ball and prepares to take the throw, and as we are approaching the end of this half, unfortunately, but it has been a fascinating half of football, really exciting. Here comes the throw from Almanza, and it's cleared by Ashworth, and it bounces harmlessly all the way back for a Oxford goal kick. Centaurs goalkeepers had a lot of the ball, which always is a pretty dangerous thing if you're in a football game. You'd rather your strikers had a lot of the ball, and I think the three Oxford players that have touched the ball the most would be Dodd, Harding, and Welch. The ball is from that goal kick. It was played into midfield. Pressure from Ortiz meant he turned straight back round to his centre-back, who could only clear it out for a throw into Oxford under the pressure from Tom Randall. Birch takes the throw. Here's Harding again. He sends it long again, and it bounces harmlessly through to Sam Ernest, who takes his time and has a little look and plays it into Cass Ashworth, who's under pressure, plays it back to Ernest. Ernest inside his own half, clipped over the top, beautifully for Jed Adagbu to chase. Adagbu looking to cut inside and does successfully, and he cuts inside again, and he's obstructed there. Surely he's going to pass it back to Nick Sweeney, who whips in the ball. Good header there by Smalley, I think. And again by Smalley, winning his own second ball. And that is the halftime whistle, if you can hear that on the stream. But a fantastic half for the Cambridge Falcons. It's been electric. It's been end-to-end. The Centaurs have had their opportunities, but nothing clear-cut. Whereas a bit of magic from Percy Verity and a fantastic ball in mean that Joey Dalton scores his first goal of the half with a glorious flicked header into the far corner. It then got cagey again as Oxford tried to build back into the game, had a little bit of possession in the Cambridge half, couldn't really find a decisive moment, and then making something out of nothing towards the end of the half from a slightly poor goal kick out of the hands from Centaurs goalkeeper Welch, a good firm header, and I'm going to give Cass credit here. I think Cass Ashworth meant to put this through. He could see that there was a gap in front of him, and he really powered his header into the gap where the centre backs had split to receive the ball. Joe Dalton ran through, had the composure to see the onrushing keeper, knock the ball one way, run round the other, and then tap it in as he recollected possession 6 yards out. A fantastic goal for a really, really top man, and I'm delighted to say that it's Cambridge University Falcons 2, Oxford University Centaurs 0 here at Oxford City Football. And I'll hand over to Josh for his thoughts on that tremendous first half.
Fantastic. I mean, Cambridge playing so well. Oxford did have moments in the game. They had a couple of chances, but they were really half chances. But Cambridge were the team that had the best of the possession. They had the best of the possession. They had the best of the chances. Percy Verity has been my standout player. He hasn't necessarily controlled the game, but when he does get the ball, there are moments of magic. And he made that moment of magic for Dalton to flick the header in. And then Dalton, his movement has been good all game. We've been crediting it for the full 45 minutes, and then it pays dividends because he gets the ball, makes a beautiful run, gambles, gets it, and then rounds the keeper. So really, really impressive from the Falcons. And going into the halftime break, Cambridge with the 2-0 lead, and Cambridge will really, really be disappointed if they let this slip. It's really astonishing from the Falcons.
Yeah, it's really a really good performance. As we see the Blues players come past, I wonder if we're going to get maybe Matthew Hawthorne, Cambridge University Blues centre-back. I'm just going to signal to Hawthorne if he wants to come and get on the radio, and he's coming on. Hawthorne, fantastic scenes, as you can hear from the fans. And Matt Hawthorne, the CUAFC social sec, joins me in the press box here after a fantastic half of Falcons football. How are you, Matt? Are you feeling good?
I'm great, mate. Much better after that first half.
Falcons on top. Boys.
Falcons on top. Good to see the Falcons on top after last year having.
Anything to say to your mother?
I'm so sorry about him. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, mate. It's okay, mate. How pleased are we that Joe Dalton has scored 2 absolute fantastic goals?
I've never seen him play like that before. Unbelievable stuff from him.
Percy Verity as well with a serious assist for that first goal. Really good. Yeah.
It's key to a win. We've seen that with Joe Dalton today.
And how's the atmosphere out there, boys? We're joined by Sonny and Matt Hawthorne and James Brownsey.
The atmosphere outside of Cambridge's travelling boys is horrendous. We're bringing the atmosphere at the moment. Oxford's very quiet.
It's under, yeah. They're talking. They said that they're talking to the Cambridge goalkeeper, giving him the support, and that the understandably the Oxford fans are lacking noise at this point. Perhaps maybe some chance of you only sing when you're winning. Would really bring it home to the reserves varsity.
I think as the Castles taught us, I think they dominated most of the game, but were lacking the kind of like that clinical kind of finish. I think Dalton's teaching us that can turn a tide in the game.
I just want to say the game's not over. Still a lot of work to do for the Falcons in the second half.
100%. Very good, boys. Thank you very, very much. See you in a bit, boys, and thank you for your input. We're going to have a quick break while it's half time, and we'll come back to you for the second half. Louis Canway there giving a little wave to all 2 of you watching, and I'm sure they'll enjoy watching that back on the stream. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be back for the second half. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the second half of this reserves varsity fixture. After that short break, the players are back out on the pitch. The floodlights are well and truly in effect. It's getting extremely dark. It's getting a little bit chilly outside, but the warmth and the noise is being brought through the atmosphere here at the Oxford City Football Club in the Velocity Stadium for the reserves varsity match. You join me with, I'm Matt Griffiths. I'm joined by Joshua Corber Hoffman, and we are thrilled with the Cambridge performance so far. It is 2-0 to the Falcons against the Centaurs. Joey Dalton stands over kickoff. It looks like two unchanged lineups for the start of the second half. I'm just going to hand over to Josh and get your thoughts as they kick off.
Yeah, well, we're looking for a half of, if Cambridge can get a goal, nice. But if not, it's absolutely fine. They just need to be calm, composed in defence. They need to try and relax and just grow back into this game and just not allow Oxford too many chances in the penalty area. Basically, just relax, be composed, see the game out now.
Fantastic. I completely agree. And just to run you through the lineups, Cambridge are unchanged with Jake Barker in goal, Torres at right back, Sam Ernest in the right centre-back position, Matt Page at left centre-back, Nick Sweeney and captain at left back. The two central defensive midfielders are James Wiseman and Cass Ashworth. The left winger is Jed Adagbu. The right winger is Percy Verity. And Jed Adagbu carries the ball forward now and plays a little 1-2 with James Wiseman. And he plays it into his... Oh, and he gets the ball back and he's bursting down the left-hand side. Joe Dalton is starting up front and he stays on. He's scored 2 goals so far. Jed cuts inside but loses it to the Oxford central midfielder, Goldstein there. And yes, just to complete that lineup, it's Jed in the left wing, Tom Randall at number 10 in the central attacking midfield position. Joey Dalton up front, who has the ball now, but in the left channel. Pass it back to his captain, Sweeney. Sweeney plays it 1-2 with Jed. Pass it to James Wiseman, who is dispossessed by Oxford central midfielder Ortiz. And Oxford look to break. Well tracked by Tom Randall, who passed it back to Sam Ernest. And Sweeney has the ball again at left back. He plays it into Jed, who sends it back to Sweeney. Sweeney turns out of danger and passes it back up the line to Jed, who can't keep the ball, but the foul is correctly given against Sweeney as he was dragged down by Ortiz, who is giving the ref a little bit of chat there, which famously is not advised. And then, on the right wing, we have Percy Verity, who had a fantastic assist for Joey Dalton's first goal, and Ashworth with a headed assist for Dalton's second goal. The ball is clipped into the penalty area by Matt Page. It was flicked on by Dalton, but cleared up by the Oxford left-back Almanza, who passed it into his central midfielder Smalley. Smalley does well and passes it back to the centre-back Harding, who passed it into his captain Dodd. Dodd passed it here to Almanza, the Oxford number 3 and left-back. He's looking to find Austin. Austin's pressured by Torres, but cuts inside and passes a neat ball into Fester, the number 9 for Oxford. He's harassed by Sam Ernest, but plays it to Goldstein, the number 10. Jed covers, tracks Ed Birch, the Oxford right back, well, and flicks it back inside, but Oxford still maintain possession. And here's Harding, the right centre-back, bursting forward between the lines. He plays it out wide, but Sweeney gets a leg in there and passes it out to Jed. Here's James Wiseman carrying the ball for Cambridge. He passes it into Joe Dalton, and he's taken out, I believe, but the referee waves play on, and he does not come back for the advantage as Tom Randall is dispossessed on the far side, and it is a throw-in to Cambridge. Wow, a breathless start to the half there, and Sweeney just stands the ball on the far sideline as we catch our breath. He's looking for a teammate now. A good throw-in, and Dalton wins the flick, and Jed looks to claim the second ball. Webb does well and wins it for Oxford. It's a bit of pinball as it bounces between a sea of legs, but it appears that Oxford have it. Ortiz there, and no, he's dispossessed by Wiseman. Wiseman does really well, passing it to his centre midfield partner, Cass Ashworth. And Ashworth plays it back to Sam Ernest, who looks to release Verity, and he does so with a good ball. Verity takes a bit of a... Verity touch bobbles off him a little bit, but he manages to win a throw-in off Almanza, and his long throw attempt into Dalton is headed away by Dodd. But Goldstein's dispossessed by Wiseman, who takes a crack at it, but fires a shot just wide. I think Welge in the Oxford goal was always going to have that covered, but a little snapshot there from James Wiseman showing that Cambridge do have quality, and they don't want to. The Oxford midfielders do not want to give their Cambridge counterparts time on the edge of the box. a shout of he doesn't want it as the ball arrives at Almanza's feet and he passes it back to Dodd. It's intercepted though by Dalton. Dalton read that brilliantly, but he can't collect it. The interception sort of bounced off his shin. He can't collect it, and Dodd does manage to get it to his centre-back partner Harding, who clips it up to Fester, which appears to be a major part of the Centaurs' game plan, it must be said. A pass across to the right centre-back who clips a diagonal ball to their target man up front, who's trying to nod it back to his speedy wingers either side of him, or the attacking presence of the central midfielder Ortiz as he's arriving from midfield. So far, it doesn't appear to have much work, and Wiseman and Ashworth have done a really good job at cutting out those options when the ball does come back off the flick-ons from Fester. I believe we have a little stoppage in play here. I'm not quite sure what's happening. I think the ref is just. Sorry. My view is just obscured by a combination of Wiseman and the referee, and there's a player down for Oxford. I think it might be the number 5, the right winger, Wet. Oh no, it's not. He's standing up. Who is it? It could be. It's not Ortiz. Austin. Is it Austin? No, Austin's here. Austin's on the left wing. I think it may have been Ed Birch there, the right back, who'd just taken a sit down. I don't know if he just got a little knock in the challenging for the ball there. Anyway, it's a Cambridge throw-in, and Sweeney's to take on the far touchline to us. He throws it inside, but that's a strange decision because it's picked up by Fester, who passed it to Austin. Austin carrying it to the right-hand side and passing it to his teammate Webb. Webb cuts back on side and plays Austin. Austin not quite on the same wavelength of as his fellow winger, and attempts a short pass which just rolls harmlessly out of play for a Cambridge throw. Sweeney does a sensible option and throws it up the line. Dalton tries a flick over the top, but that's not entirely dealt with by Birch, and Adagbu has a sniff before the ball bobbles out and it's given as a Cambridge throw. Sweeney once again on the throw-in, and again it's a sensible option and he throws it up the line. Adagbu with a good flick, Dalton with a good flick, but there's nobody there, and Harding has a nice touch and clears it confidently up the line, and then gets a bit of argy-bargy between Birch and Dalton. The referee has given a free kick. I don't think there was anything in that. I'm not quite sure what Dalton was up to off the ball there. I thought the initial free kick was going to be given for the little clip of the heels on Harding as he cleared the ball, but apparently not. The ref has a word with Birch and Dalton, says no more of that funny business, and we're off again with Harding playing it calmly across the edge of his own box to Dodd. Dodd stepping up and playing Ortiz. Ortiz under pressure and does well to get it to his midfield partner Goldstein. Goldstein to Almanza. Almanza plays it up the line to Austin, but that's out of play and it's a Cambridge throw. Unfortunate there. The Oxford left back he's having a decent game considering he's got really quite a handful of Percy Verity, who whenever he gets the ball turns and charges at him at some serious speed. So I think that is playing on his mind somewhat, even when he's in possession, yet alone when Cambridge have the ball. So here's Torres for the throw-in for Cambridge. He goes for a long option. Randall does not win the header. That is a clear push in the back from Cass Ashworth. He acknowledges it with a tap on the side of Ryan Smalley, and Oxford win the free kick. And it's taken quickly to Goldstein in the centre circle. Randall's pressuring his opposite number 10. Jed is pressuring his opposite number as well. And Sweeney wins the ball, and it trickles out for a throw-in. It looked like he might have been able to keep that in and chase his own tackle, but the ball sort of rolled out of play just inside the Oxford half for Ed Birch to take the throw-in on the Oxford right. Sweeney wins the header from the throw-in. Tom Randall wins the second header, and Ashworth plays a floated through ball through to Joe Dalton, who's been marshalled out there by Harding. Harding gets a good foot in. Dalton uses his strength well and temporarily gets the better of him and gets his shirt pulled and wins the free kick. The Cambridge supporters absolutely love that as Harding, as Joe sort of touched it past him to cut it back in with his left foot on the Cambridge left-hand side, cut it back across the box. Harding got the wrong side of him and pulled his shirt and was just out of sheer frustration, sort of gave him a little bit of a push and a pull. The referee didn't like it, but the Cambridge crowd loved to see the frustration coming out in the Oxford defender. It's going to be Jed to whip it in right-footed from the left-hand side, left-hand side of the Oxford penalty box. It's right-footed in-swinger. It's going to not beat the first man. Harding does well, atoning for his mistake. Ashworth is under some pressure from Webb. Oh no, it's Austin up there putting pressure on Ashworth, making a nuisance for himself. He tries to fire it back into the box, but a loose pass from Oxford sets Jeddah Dugbu away. He's got 2-3 men on top of him. He can't quite wriggles free. Here's Sweeney with the first time ball in. It's a beauty. It's Joe Dalton. Oh, he would have thought he could do better. It didn't matter anyway as the flag was up. That was a delightful ball from Nick Sweeney, and Josh is desperate to have a word here. Come on.
I mean, that could have been a hat trick for Joe Dalton. It would have been incredible to get a hat trick in his varsity match. But Cambridge really pressing well, and it looks like Cambridge are most likely to get the next goal. I beg it's Joe Dalton. It would be unbelievable if he could get a hat trick for himself. But it's funny, in this game, I was just thinking, other than Dalton and maybe Verity, you can't pick out one player. Really, the Oxford player gets smacked in the face by his own player. You can't pick out necessarily one player for Cambridge who really stands out. Like you don't even a lot of them you don't even notice until they do one thing that is particularly notable. They're just generally working well as a unit. They're very solid midfield unit. The line is very strong. Yeah. The line of defense is very strong. And so they're just a very structured team. And I think the managers. And we didn't even mention the managers have just come in after the manager left last week. So they've done a really good job to structure this team in such a confident way.
That's right. The form of the Falcons hasn't been good this season yet. Nick Sweeney basically had a word with the committee and the football club and said that ex-coach Matt Lee was not doing it for them. They didn't like his attitude. They decided to get rid of him, which is a bold call the week before a varsity match, but it appears to be paying off as the teams really gelled. They come together. They said, we're going to take responsibility for this. We've had a poor season. That's fine. We're going to work for each other here and hopefully put in a good performance on varsity. And they are doing that. They're working for each other. The best that I've seen the Falcons play since about the second match of the season, it must be said. This is a cracking performance. But Verity over the free kick, and it's whipped in by Verity, floated actually towards the penalty spot. Good header from Dodd. He gets it away. Page tries to hoik it back in with his left foot. Dalton wins that header, but is cleaned up. But allegedly he got the ball. Dalton's getting a little bit feisty up front. He's had 2 goals. It's been a rushing blood to the head. Almanza carries it forward. A good driving run from the Oxford left back. He must have carried it about 40 metres up the pitch. And is stopped in the Cambridge half by a combination of Torres and Matt Page. Oh, my goodness. Oof. And then that was a bizarre passage of players. So Almanza carried the ball up the pitch, bounced it off Ortiz, and then the ball sort of ricocheted between them. He pinged in a ball. But Fester was looking the wrong way, thought that Cambridge would regain possession. The ball hit his back heel and almost was diverted into the bottom corner, but a smart save from Barker was required. And Cambridge come now with a clip ball over the top, which Verity's going to chase. And good challenge by Dodd. After the ball came out from the goalkeeper Barker, it came to Tom Randall, who played a 1-2 and then turned and clipped a ball over the top of Verity to chase. And a good challenge and crucial touch by Dodd meant that the Oxford keeper Welch could claim it and do the job for him. Webb here on the left-hand side attacking Ashworth. He does well to win it back. He plays it into Randall, who spreads the play wide with that delightful pass with his left foot. Here's a Dagbu. He's skinned Ed Birch here. He's absolutely got him on toast. Sweeney's offering an overlap, but Jed chooses to come inside and Sweeney jogs backwards. Here's Wiseman taking it past a couple of players into the corner. He's going to have to square it with his left foot. He does. Oh, it's away by Dodd. Dalton lurking for his hat trick. I was going to say, here's Jed. And I think that is, was that deflected? No. Great work there by Jed Adagbu. He cut inside and then peeled back wide to create space for James Wiseman, who burst through and squared it. Dodd cleared it away, but only as far as Jed, who'd held his width, took a touch onto his right foot, and the shot was wide. Oxford can't clear their lines, though, and sloppy play from Smalley has given it to Verity, and he's cut inside on his left foot inside the box, and he's blasted it straight at the Oxford goalkeeper, though. That was a good chance for Verity, and perhaps he could have squared it, but the angle was tight. He decided to go for goal on his left foot after the mistake from Smalley. He was dispossessed by Verity on the edge of his own box, and Verity drove in, cut inside onto his left foot, and blasted it at the near post. But Wells, the goalkeeper, was up to it, and then Verity now collects his own missed attempt on goal and is here to take a corner from the Cambridge right-hand side. It's deep, it's high, it's Sam Ernest with the header. Dalton flicks it inside. The goalkeeper hasn't got it. I think that was a foul on the goalkeeper there. Dalton did well to get his foot on it and stop the keeper claiming it initially. But once he tried to flick it inside to Matt Page there. Dalton did indeed fall on the goalkeeper and impede him illegally, and the free kick was correctly given against Joe Dalton there. Oh, the referee's not happy. I think we're going to have a couple of substitutes, and it is what's happening? The referee's just stopped play. We're waiting. There's some communication from the sideline. We're happy. Play's continuing. I think there may be some substitutes incoming, but right now the teams stay as they are. Yeah, so there's the balls that are played out by Welch. Sweeney wins the initial header, and James Wiseman does well to control the ball and look after it in the centre of the park and pass it to Dalton, who holds the ball up well and then sends a lofted through ball to Wiseman. He chases it. He's blocked off, but the ball goes out for a goal kick. Yeah, Josh, could you say that?
Wiseman's playing a lot higher up actually in the pitch. I mean, it just shows the confidence of the Cambridge team now. They can rely on their defence. The Oxford attack really not threatening at all, to be honest. We barely mentioned their strikers this entire game. And Wiseman is kind of, he epitomises the fact that Cambridge is so confident going forward, because he was holding back a lot in the first half. And now he's going into the penalty area a lot more as Percy Verity makes way, which is surprising to me, I have to say. And
JP is JP. Sorry there, Josh. Yeah, JP coming on the right wing, number 15. I've watched one Falcons match this year, and this boy looked like the Cambridge University second team Mohamed Salah, as in left-footed, plays on the right, but he can cut inside with a drop of the shoulder, and he'll step almost anybody. As in, he scored 2 goals when the last time I saw him play, and he put in a fantastic performance. So if he can emulate that today, I think Almanza's going to have it be in for a torrid rest of the afternoon if he wasn't tired of Verity running him around all day. But yeah, so the substitution was Percy Verity off, and is Josimoy Paul. And so Paul is going to be on the right wing, just straight swap, still a left footer on the right wing, looking to cut inside. But it's a Falcons throw in, and Randall gets the ball, and very well played from Almanza. He does well. There was no cover. If he missed that, Paul was in, and there is an Oxford change as well, as Stewart's come onto the pitch, number 14 in the place of Ortiz, isn't it? Yeah, Ortiz has gone off. Number 20 for Oxford, Ortiz has come off and has been replaced by Stewart. Ortiz is still on the pitch. Sorry, it's apologies. No, he's playing on left wing. It's Austin who's gone off and will be replaced by Stewart, number 14. Number 45, Austin's off, and number 14, Stewart, is on. Oxford throw in on the left, and it's into Fester, who holds the ball up well, but clips it across the box, but can't really do anything with it. And Wiseman, making sure that there was no way that Oxford could get the ball back, blast one into the forest behind the stand on the far side of the pitch. Oxford take the throw in quickly with Ed Birch, who has the ball back from his central midfielder. Matt Page clears away the danger, though, as Birch runs into trouble. Oxford have it back. They retain possession, won by Harding into Dodd now. Dodd squares it to Almanza. Almanza into the freshly arrived Stewart, but Torres takes a no-nonsense approach and puts in a strong challenge to see it out for a throw-in. Poor throw-in by Almanza, and it's cleared by Ashworth, but to no Cambridge man. Dalton's still chasing and running his socks off. I think Joey Dalton is looking a little bit more fatigued, so I wonder if Joe Helm will be introduced now. The second striker for the Falcons is another quality option up top, but yeah. Dalton couldn't get there. Dodd played it to Harding. Harding did one of his classic take a touch, ping it 50 yards upfield, and across came Matt Page to see it out for an Oxford throw. The throw comes in and a good touch from Ortiz, spins his man. It's clipped across the box and it's bouncing dangerously on the edge of the D here. Stewart tries to win it. Paul does well to take it off him, but it's only as far as Almanza, who puts in a dipping ball, and it's bounced here to off the frame of the goal from Ortiz. It was bouncing there, sort of attempted volley, and he sliced it. Ortiz sliced it up, and it went high. And Cambridge can't clear their lines here, but Almanza does the job for them by blasting it over the bar. So, Josh, can you just describe what happened to me there?
I mean, I don't know how that wasn't a goal. I mean, there was kind of a scramble in the box, and then the ball was kind of behind him, so he had to adjust his feet. Ended up just almost lobbing it over the keeper from really short range. The goalie looked to have thought, oh, it's going out of play, but it ended up hitting the angle bar, and then it comes right back out to this left-hand side for Almanza, who then skies it. But that was a really nervy moment, and I really think Oxford had to score there, and that would have made for a grand finale. But as it stands, Cambridge get away with it.
And the resulting goal kick is taken short to Page, who plays in sort of low ball to the halfway line to Dalton, who can't quite get his foot on it. But Wiseman is doing well to pressure the second ball. But that's fantastic play by Webb, the Oxford right winger, who keeps the ball under pressure from 3 Cambridge players and spreads it inside to Ortiz, who plays it to Stewart, who then tries to play it to Almantha. But Paul, just introduced himself, wins the ball back but can't find a pass. But it's a Cambridge throw on this near side after Torres gets the ball. And oh dear, and Torres has just sat down. He won that throw and going for quite a strong challenge, and it looked like he was caught slightly late on the follow-up there. Here's the we're just the referee and Sam Ernest just showing a bit of concern for the Cambridge right back. It's as I mentioned, it's Torres who's just sat down after winning that throw in a quite crunching challenge with Stewart, the newly introduced Oxford left winger. It's been a bit breathless this half. It's been a bit end to end. Both teams have had a chance now to go 2 up. Joe Dalton maybe could have and perhaps should have had a hat-trick with that header just at the very start of the half as the Falcons flew out the blocks. Oxford seems to have been a bit more relaxed as the half's gone on and just had that moment of pressure where all it needed really was a definitive touch, and you think it would end up in the back of the net. Anyway, the throw comes in to Tom Randall, who tries to play in Joe Dalton, but it's the wrong side of the defender, and Harding calmly plays it back to his goalkeeper and receives it back now, who Harding carries it up the pitch and clips it forward to Fester. You may have heard me say that before. And Fester tries to take it down on his chest, but is shepherded out wide, but does win a throw-in for Oxford. He does well. Here he is again, Fester, number 9. Challenge from, very good challenge from Page. Wins the ball. It was crunching. Fester went over his hip almost as he stopped him dead in his tracks. Ashworth with a nice touch as the ball's bouncing around. He passed it to Torres. Torres looks to send it up the line, but it's blocked by Stewart. Here's Ernest, but he can only clear it as far as Ortiz outside the Cambridge box, and it's inside to Webb. Webb takes it down, tries to have a shot, but it's blocked by Page, and Smalley puts it into the area. Oh, but the offside flag rightly goes up. Sorry, I sort of lost for words there. The ball was played in by Ryan Smalley on the volley on the edge of the box, and it bounced almost on the 6-yard line. And from out of nowhere, the Fester, the Oxford number 9, appeared to be standing next to the goalkeeper, and I couldn't understand why it wasn't an offside. It was an offside. Barker seemed as confused as I was and sort of flapped at it and poked it over the bar. But he's been booked for time. Fester, Jake Barker's been booked for time wasting here, I believe. The ref had a word with him and said, I'm not going to have any more of that. I do think that was a bit harsh because the ball had bounced into the fans. But, I mean, the Cambridge keeper on a warning there. And makes it the fourth yellow card we've seen in the men's games, 3 in the Cashels games earlier, the first one in this game, which has been played in a really good spirit, actually. Anyway, the clearance is claimed by Oxford, and Almanza gets the ball off his centre-back Dodd and tries to play it forward, and it bounces off Tom Randall, I think, and out for an Oxford throw. But there's going to be a Cambridge substitution, and it's Ola Unaneki, I believe. Ola Oganike coming on for Torres, who just took that knock. I think he's had a good game, Torres, but Ola is a seriously quality footballer. So get ready, hopefully, for some silky skills. And also the real luxury of playing a left-footed player right back, such as the number and the talent of left-footed players in this team. Oh no, I see. Ola's going to play at left back. Captain Sweeney has moved to left centre back with Matt Page at right centre back, and Sam Ernest is stepping into right back. Elsewhere, the team shape is unchanged. He's kept it in. Paul keeps it in. So the throw-in was taken, and Paul kept it in and won it. Tried to find Dalton, who was outmuscled by Dodd. It's down to Page. Page plays in Ashworth. Ashworth passes it to Sammy Ernest, who takes a look and looks for a ball over the top. I think that's going to bounce through to the keeper, but here's Dalton. Oh no, just enough on it from Dodd. Dodd tried to sort of header backwards to his goalkeeper, but just got enough on it, and there was no way that Dalton could sneak in there. And the Oxford defence are now passing it around the edge of their own box, and it goes to into Harding, who he's closed down, so can't go for his lofted through ball that he's been so proficient at. Here's Dodd into Smalley. Smalley turns out and plays a pass to Jed Adagbu, who picks up the loose ball, and Cambridge have possession. Jed does well to try and turn his man, but can't make any progress. And as the ball sort of bounces away, Ed Birch managed to get the ball up the wing to Webb, and Jed caught him slightly late there. And the Oxford man is still down, but slowly hobbling away, climbing to his feet and hobbling away. The ref's just waiting, make sure he's okay, and Harding stands over the free kick, ready to take it. Harding looks to go slightly longer and find the run of Webb. Webb looks inside and wins the throw-in. He actually wins the throw-in off Jed Adagbu himself. And Birch jogs up to take the throw-in. Smalley making a run into the box here. He's not used. It's a throw-in. It's a longer throw from Birch into Fester. Fester back to Smalley, who hooks it up high into the Cambridge box. You don't want it bouncing there. Page does well to clear it to the edge of the box. Ortiz slices it up. Oh, my goodness. And, wow. Ortiz attempted volley from the edge of the box, sliced, looped up into the air. Barker didn't look that comfortable underneath it, went to catch it, patted it down, and Stewart, who I don't believe was in offside position, somehow managed to half volley it over the bar from literally 1 yard out. And what has to be one of the most spectacular misses I've seen in a while. Over to you, Josh.
I'm slightly concerned for Jake Barker. I think he's kind of lost concentration, to be honest, because he hasn't really been tested in this game. And then twice, one weird moment where he kind of should have caught it and he pushed it over the bar, and one moment there where he just should have caught it and he couldn't. And he just dropped it. And I honestly do not know how that didn't end up in the goal. Oxford have had chances now in the second half, but Cambridge somehow riding their luck. And it just seems to be Cambridge's day today here, which is great for us. But for Oxford fans, that is going to be very gutting.
Dalton wins it back in a dangerous position and plays a great ball into Paul. Paul on his right foot, and it's blocked by Dodd. He got back just in time. There was a goal kick and a bit of pinball in the midfield from Cambridge. Dalton managed to nick it off the I believe it was Goldstein there, the right centre mid for Oxford, turns inside, plays a nice ball in between, a nice sort of curling ball with his right foot out to the Cambridge right wing, and Paul, attempting to sort of blast it in with his own right foot, was blocked by Dodd and it went out for a corner. The corner swung in and has been dealt with somewhat. It's been half cleared, but now Harding's striding away with it and plays it to Webb. Oh no, it's Fester. Fester clears the tackle of Ernest, but can't get past Ola Ogunake, and he plays in Jed Adogbu, his Fitzwilliam teammate. The Fitzwilliam boys combine, and it's Jed. Oh, no, sorry. Ola has a good shot in the second time. It comes out to Tom Randall. Randall plays it out to the right here to Paul. Paul on his left foot, favoured. They say that he's the Falcons' Mohamed Salah, as that little step might show you. Oh, and he's dispossessed eventually on the edge of the box by, is that Goldstein? Yeah, it is. Goldstein dispossesses. Sweeney comes charging back as the ball over the top chased. There's a hoofed ball clear from Goldstein, and Sweeney tracked back with the Cambridge forward Fester and cleared it with his left foot out for an Oxford throw, which comes to nothing as Wiseman dispossesses the attacking player, and the ball bounces back to Ogunake. Ogunake is then himself dispossessed by Webb, who looks for an option and passes it back to Goldstein. Goldstein turns it to Smalley. The ball hits the referee. The referee does well to avoid it, and it's dispossessed by Ashworth. Ashworth passes it to Randall, and Randall is confused by Paul not attempting to run in behind. But I think he gave the right winger really quite a lot to do there with a ball that's almost made it back to the touchline and has been claimed by the. Oh, do we have an injury? As in the two Oxford centre backs have just put the ball out. Dodd passed it to his keeper. There's been some shouting on the pitch, and then the ball's been put out for a throw-in. So there's going to be a substitution. It is going to be Tom Randall, who unfortunately hasn't been able to quite have the effect on the game that I thought he would. But that means that it's time for the introduction of Thomas Edmondson. He's a really dynamic player. The young first year from Clare. He's this boy has some serious techers, and I'm hopeful that we'll see some flair touches here from Edmondson if he gets into the swing of things. So it's again a straight swap, like for like. Edmondson on for Randall at the number 10 or centre attacking mid position. it's a Cambridge throw-in, but as Oxford put the ball out, I think they're wanting the ball back to their goalkeeper. But Dalton's standing rather boldly in front of Dodd, waiting to receive the throw-in. Foul throw. They just Paul took a pretty terrible throw in, and it's been given as a foul throw against him, and that will also win back possession for Oxford in a sporting way. Dalton's smiling as the throw comes in from Almantha, and it's won by Ernest. Pass it to Wiseman, gets it back from his central midfielder, looks to switch the play to a Dogbu, but that's not good enough. And the Oxford replacement, number 16 there, who is Morrison, I'd like to play. So Morrison has come on in central midfield, Harry Morrison, and he's come on for Smalley, I believe. Yeah, he has. Oh, Nick Sweeney does well to defend a cutback from Webb, who was played in by Morrison. Morrison does another back heel. It's back to Webb. Webb fizzes in across towards the back post, and Sam Ernest does really well to head that behind from a corner as the ball is blasted across the face of goal. But yeah, so just to recap those substitution, is Thomas Edmondson on for Tom Randall, and Ryan Smalley has gone off for Oxford, and he's been replaced by Harry Morrison. And it's Oxford corner kick coming from the near side touchline. So I can't actually see who's taking it, but it's a corner kick, and Harding's won it, and it's been chased out by the left back, I believe. Almantha doing the chasing there, but he couldn't get there, and the ball bounces harmlessly away for a Cambridge goal kick to be taken by Barker. Barker takes it short to Sweeney. Sweeney's put under a little bit of pressure by Ortiz. He places it to Oganaike. Oganaike carries it forward to Wiseman. Wiseman looks inside to Ashworth. Ashworth takes a look over his shoulder and plays it out to Sam Ernest. Ernest takes a touch. No, he doesn't. Apologies. Ernest doesn't take a touch. He doesn't quite make it. He loses footing and blasts it over the stand for a Oxford throw just inside the Cambridge half. There's a little bit of a disappointing passage of play there for Cambridge. Here's Almanza. So the long throw will probably take Oxford to the edge of the box, and here it comes. It's dealt with by Page, who comes across and chests it out with his puffs the chest out, gets ahead of his man, and the ball bounces away for a throw-in. It's Almanza again, and this time he can get it into the box, and it is a long throw into the box. Bounces for Oganaike to clear. Dalton attempts to win it off Harding. The ball bounces for Goldstein. Goldstein does well. Goldstein does it excellently and touches it inside. Ernest has got to get out to block the cross from Stewart. The ball's bouncing up, and Fester's chested it back, and it's put into the net by... who's that? Put into the net by... Who was that who scored? I believe it may have been Fester who crashed that home. Oh, no, it was Ortiz, sorry. I beg your pardon. The ball was whipped in from the edge and not dealt with by Sam Ernest. Looped up, and it bounced off Fester's back. And Ortiz was on hand to half volley it, smash it into the bottom corner.
You have to say the goal was coming. I mean, they've had so many chances that should have gone in, and one of them eventually was going to go in. Really hope Cambridge can hold on now. But that, I mean, they've had chances where the kind of ball's been weirdly running around the box. They've started to get the rub of the green a little bit more, Oxford. Seemed like it was going to be Cambridge's night, but purely by the fact that every chance just seemed to go Cambridge's way. But since then, Oxford have started to have more and more of the ball, and they started to threaten more and more. And Cambridge really look like they're just trying to see out this game as opposed to scoring any more goals, which I think is a fine tactic. But now they're just, it's Cambridge and the clock against Oxford.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. Let's hope that goal galvanizes the boys and see if we can get the Falcons playing some actual football again. Oh, but that's a slip from Almantha as the ball over the top from Matt Page, cut inside by Paul. He's on his left foot and he's deflected and claimed comfortably by the keeper. That was a lovely ball from Matt Page, releasing Almantha, who slipped over. So the Cambridge replacement right winger, had a free run, and the ball's collected by the goalkeeper and played out here to Harding. Harding takes the ball and passes it to Webb. Webb loses it, and Sweeney attempts a first-time ball into a Dagbu, but it's intercepted, and a nice attempted ball there is cut out by a very calm-looking Sam Ernest, who plays James Wiseman. He's under a little bit of pressure from Morrison, but he takes his time. Page tries a long ball. Dalton flicks on well. Edmondson's there to try and win it, and the free kick has been given for the flick. I think he got flicked in the armpit there. He's gone. The captain, Oxford captain Dodd, has gone down like a ton of bricks. But for quite a large defender to get knocked over by wee Thomas Edmondson like that is surely a little bit embarrassing for his teammates. Anyway, Harding takes the free kick, and it's to Fester. The ball is flicked into the middle, and Sweeney clears it with his right foot, lesser used, out, but only as far as Goldstein, who has a shot, and it's glazed over the bar from about 25 yards out. That was an opportunity for Oxford. The ball cleared by Sweeney. Goldstein takes a touch, runs onto his runs into a nice position. The ball settles nicely for him. He sets his sights from 25 yards out and has a ping, but it just whistles over the bar. Barker didn't look that fussed. He just jumped, dropped his hands as you can see it going over the top, and didn't want to concede the corner. Here's the goal kick. Barker looks to go long, pinged to just into the centre circle, and won by Ashworth with a good flick. Dalton goes for the flick again. He's climbed all over. Ashworth looks to release Edmondson, but it's dealt with by Almantha. Goldstein collects the ball and plays his left back, returns it to his left back, but he's tackled by Paul, and they win Paul wins Cambridge a throw-in. Quick throw by Ernest, and Paul heads it out for a throw-in inadvertently. Oh no, it's been given as a my apologies. Almantha must have got there ahead of Paul. That makes sense, as he Paul didn't really seem to know much about that throw-in. Ernest throw-in again is the referee is giving it another Cambridge throw as Stewart. The ball was thrown in by Ernest, touchdown by Ashworth, and Stewart emphatically cleared it over the stand. And so Ernest has another go with this throw-in on this near side, on the Cambridge right. He's looking at Joe Dalton. Dalton is jostling with his defender. He's kept it in play, turns well, and tries to win a throw-in, but can't. The ball comes back inside to Harding. Harding releases Ortiz, and it's a 3-on-3 if Oxford play this right. They look to release Fester. He's covered by Matt Page. Page has done really well there. He's blocked the cutback, but Fester still has it. Fester plays Almantha, who's on the overlap. Almantha looking to cut back across. The ball's gone for a corner ball. It was blocked by Page. Page did really well there. He was one-on-one with not a lot of cover. And I'm just going to hand over to Josh for your thoughts on this last passage of play.
Cambridge looked mentally exhausted. I have to say, they played so well this whole game, but they looked like they're about to throw it away. That shot from Josh Goldstein from far out nearly went in. It was so close to the goal, just over the bar. And now Oxford applying all the pressure. They look a completely different team, Matt.
Yeah, that goal's really energized them. The ball's come in, and oh my goodness, that should have been a goal. I say a free header, a fantastic ball in, it must be said. I believe that was Goldstein again with a really delicious curling free kick into the front post, and it was Dodd himself at the near post. He runs the near post, risen highest, but couldn't keep the header down from, must have been 3 or 4 yards out, just inside the 6-yard box. But these are warning signs for Cambridge, and if they don't, step up their game here, Oxford's goals really energized them, and they look like the team that to beat at the moment. Cambridge will be praying that the clock runs out, which, to be fair, there isn't that much time left. There must only be 5 to 10 minutes left on this game of this Varsity Reserves match here on Cam FM. I remind you that the score is 2-1 to the Falcons. 2 early goals by Joseph Dalton. Here's Thomas Edmondson, though, on the Cambridge right. Looks to play Dalton. Dalton can't get there. Dodd's pressured into quite a ropey back pass. The keeper is going to have to deal with this, and does with aplomb, and plays his right centre-back Harding, who looks to clip a ball forward, and Sweeney does well, and he reads that, and he should have been reading that perhaps all game, but he does very well. Sweeney does well to step out the back line and clear that away with his left foot for a throw-in on the Oxford half, just inside their own half. It's taken by Birch. He stands over it. Longer throw-in, and it's won by Ashworth with a good header. Dalton wins the second ball, but gets trod on, and he's just sort of limping there a little bit, Joe Dalton, after that collision. But here he is with the ball, as the attempted clearance by Dodd is not a good one, and Dalton tries to play through Edmondson, but can't, and he's going to be subbed off, I think. He's still limping. Anyway, Oxford have the ball with their keeper, and it's now Harding. Harding plays into Fester's feet for once, which is a change. And he tries to play in Ortiz, but the ball rolls comfortably through to Barker. Nice. Who continues with his mild time-wasting tactics. And to play the ball. I think Barker's trying to claim that he got kicked on the head by Ortiz, but I don't think anyone else is, and he clears it now away from his hands. And he slices his clearance, and it goes out for a Oxford throw in. Dalton is limping around, and he looks not in that good a way. Meanwhile, Oxford have a throw in on the right hand side, fairly near the sort of about 25 yards out from goal, from the byline, and it's Webb standing over it, and he flicks it into Ortiz, who takes it down nicely and attempts to play Morrison, but Wiseman reads that and is playing, and he looks to set free Adagbu. Adagbu gets there, but it's out for a Cambridge throw-in. Good work from Harding to win that one. The referee has been signaled that there's going to be a substitute, and I think it's going to be Joe Dalton coming off after his 2 goals. He's played fantastically well. He's going to be replaced by is it another forward player? It is. It's going to be Luca Martins there, the St. John's engineer, coming on, I believe, as a straight swap up front, or is Edmondson going to move up front and Luca's going to come into the 3? It's hard to tell at this point. So Ashworth screams for the ball on the left-hand side. Ogunike obliges him. Sweeney sort of hacks at it, and it goes more up than out. But Wiseman is jostling there to win the ball. It appears that Edmondson's going to move up front, and Martins comes into the centre attacking mid role. Here's his first touch. He's trying to get around the Oxford centre-back number 6. Oh, there's been a change for Oxford as well. Harding's gone off, and the long-haired replacement has come on. You have to question that. Harding had a very, very respectable skinhead look, whereas Cassian McDonald has come on with flowing locks, and he studies classics, so I'm immediately distrustful of this sort of bloke. Here comes the ball anyway, over the top. Sweeney chests it down, takes a touch, and plays it out wide to Paul. Paul has a little bit of time, plays it back inside to Ashworth. Oh no, that's sloppy from Ashworth, but Annis makes up for it, and Paul turns and is driving at the Oxford defence, which is not where you want this man to be, but he might have just overhit that, and he's furious with himself. He swipes the ground with his hand as he overhits the pass to Jed Adagbu, but that was sloppy from Morrison, and it sets up Edmondson for a shot, and it goes wide. Yeah, Paul tried to slip in Adagbu, overhit the pass, Welge in the Oxford goal, played it quickly to McDonald, who gave it away pretty sloppily to Wiseman, who then played in Edmondson, who took a touch and had a shot, but that bounced sort of rather lacklusterly wide. After the goal, from the goal kick again, the ball's played out to McDonald. He has the ball, and he's under pressure from 2 players. It's Martins and Adagbu there pressuring the new Oxford centre-back, and it looks like they're getting some successes. They've won a throw-in deep in the Oxford half on the left-hand side. The game's just slowing down a bit. It's becoming a little bit more scratchy. I think we can tell we're into the last 5 minutes or so of this match, and the game's starting to become a little bit more ropey. And Martins does really well and clears a ball across the box, but there's nobody there to get it for him. There was a Cambridge throw, which Martins collected and took to the byline and flashed across goal. Oh, a very nice step from Dodd as he stepped Thomas Edmondson there to give himself a little bit of space. And here comes Goldstein crossing into the Cambridge half. He attempts to play Birch, but Adagbu actually concedes the corner there. Really well played from Birch. Adagbu looked to try and see that out, but just didn't have the legs, and Birch just flicked it off the Cambridge man to win the corner. Josh.
Yeah, I mean, the game is a bit scrappier, which is what Cambridge wants, but Oxford have a corner here, and as we've seen before, chances come from corners, and Oxford looking desperately for a last-minute equaliser.
Here we go. The ball swung in left footer. Good first man from Ashworth there. There was nothing gets past him. There was a left-footed Stewart to put that in. The ball's re-swung back in. It's a bicycle kick attempt from Dodd, and it's spectacular acrobatics from the Oxford captain, but it's claimed by Barker. The attempt was straight at him, but you have to respect the performance there. If he scores there, he goes down in history as a man who scored a bicycle kick in the Falcons Centaurs Varsity match. Meanwhile, Cambridge have the ball at the back, and it's to Sam Ernest. There's a bit of a press on from Oxford, but Cambridge look pretty composed at the back. Matt Page not taking any prisoners and lumps it forward. And I think Edmondson is onside, and he does very well to touch it down. And and he's kept possession. He slips in Paul. Paul's got to keep this in. He's got to do well. He does. He keeps it in, and he dances past his man. He's on the byline. The ball's still in. Oh, the linesman's... Oh, Paul is furious. The linesman said that the ball's crossed the line. Paul is furious. He thought he kept it in there. He'd done brilliantly to skip past his man on the byline. It didn't look like there was space. He just did a little ball roll to whip it past the man, but the linesman's flag went up almost immediately after he did that. He was furious, but Oxford take the goal kick, and it's here with Dodd at the left centre-back position. He squares it to his new partner, McDonald. McDonald looking for the same tactic, I believe, as Harding, except he goes along the ground and it's intercepted by Adagbu. Wiseman picks up the pieces and he plays in Paul this time. This time, surely Paul must score. He cuts inside on his left foot and fantastic block, handball, penalty to Cambridge. It was a handball. There's no complaints from the Oxford defence. Some of the spectators are angry, but Dodd sat down on the floor. He knew that was handball as soon as it happened. Fantastic from Wiseman. He took the ball, cut inside, played it confidently in between Dodd and Almantha. Paul ran onto it, took it inside onto his left foot, and Dodd, desperate to make the block, dived across in front of it, sliding talent, but unfortunately the ball struck him on the arm. There was nothing he could really do, but he knew it was handball. All of the Cambridge supporters are making their way behind the goal. Paul is going to step up to take the penalty that he won, and this really could be crucial. This could put the game to bed for Cambridge, for the Falcons. Here is JP. Paul against Welch. He steps up. It's a firm penalty into the roof of the net. It's 3-1 to Cambridge, slightly to the right of goal, and he blasts it into the top corner, runs to the corner flag. Not sure why he's done that. There's nobody there. And his teammates get around him. There's nothing that Oxford could really do about that. Welch had to make a decision. He dived right, and Paul stuck it just roof of the net, slightly right of centre.
Well, the substitution, Thomas Edmondson's made the difference there. He got on the ball, lovely bit of skill, got past one, got past two, threaded the ball through, and then JP has the effort blocked by the hand and of an Oxford man, and therefore he wins the penalty, a really confident pen. And to be honest, I think 3-1 flatters Cambridge a little bit. I think Oxford should at least have a draw in this game, but no one's complaining. Cambridge had the luck of the game, and they've deserved, in terms of how much they've battled, they've deserved it. So well done to Cambridge, and it looks like now their lead is unassailable.
It's another substitution there for Oxford as Ortiz comes off and another attacking player comes on. I think McDonald's going to be deployed as an additional striker. Captain Sweeney wins a header floated over the top, but hits the deck, much to the amusement of the Oxford fans in front of us, and the ball is retained by Oxford. Number 17 for Oxford comes on. I just checked my program notes. I believe that it's Orakoya has come on for Oxford, number 17, and he's taking the place of Ortiz, also playing in that central attacking role. Yeah, Oxford have gone for a 3-back. They have to go for the win here, or they need to get at least a draw to take it to penalties. So McDonald, the big man, has gone up front as a sort of auxiliary striker. Cambridge, I saw Thomas Edmondson signaling to his teammates 4-4-2. So it's going to be a 4-4-2 with Edmondson and Martins as the two strikers. Edmondson dropping in slightly more than Martins as a long throw in from Almantha comes to nothing as it's collected by Barker. But yeah, Cambridge are going to play a 4-4-2 system here. Sweeney with the left back, Ogunike, Sweeney, Page, and Ernest is the back four. Left midfielder as Adagbu, who touches that down delightfully, but is dispossessed by Morrison. Morrison gets it back from Birch, but can't get past Ogunike. Adagbu takes up the pieces and passes it inside to Ashworth. Ashworth looks to switch the play, and he releases Martins. He might be offside here. The flag stayed down, though, and it's cleared by Welch. Ashworth regains possession in the middle of the park, looks to play his central midfield partner Wiseman, who is pressured by that is Webb, isn't it? He plays a fantastic ball into Martins, but Martins can't quite gather the ball under his spell, and it's swept up by Dodd. Oxford appears to be playing a 3-back, so there may be another goal, but I feel like any more goals, as Josh said, 3-1 flatters Cambridge. If they score a goal in the break, 4-1, that extremely flatters the Falcons. Oxford have really been in this game. The Centaurs have played pretty well. And at 2-1, I would say that would have been a fair result, but you have to respect this performance by the Falcons. They've taken chances and they have been clinical. When the ball's arrived in the middle of the park, anytime that Wiseman or Ashworth or indeed Edmondson have got time and space, it's been a clinical through ball and immediate trouble for the Oxford backline. There's a free kick there, one for a push in the back off an Oxford throw-in, and Sweeney is going to take it, I believe. It's going to be in sort of the left-back region of the pitch for Cambridge. It's chipped up by the left foot of Sweeney. Edmondson tries to take it down. It's away by Orakayo, and it's out as far as Ashworth. McDonald dispossesses him, coming back from his new lease of life as a striker, and plays it out wide to Stewart. Stewart plays it inside, but it's away by Page. And Edmondson now has time and space to take it down, and he attempts to release Paul. Paul is blocked by Dodd, who's now acting as the central centre-back for
Oxford. Edmondson does well to cut inside his man and play Paul. He plays a 1-2 and gets it back to Paul. Paul sits down somebody and is driving into the box but can't quite get there. That's going to be offside, I think, against Thomas Edmondson. But okay, no, he's okay. Sam Ernest attempts a ball into the box, but it's cleared away as far as James Wiseman. Wiseman pressured from all sides, does well to pass it to Ashworth, who turns nicely. And here's a shot for Ashworth, but it's over the top of the bar. And that is the full-time whistle. And Nick Sweeney goes absolutely mad and congratulates his teammates. The Falcons go absolutely ballistic. There's a pitch invasion here. It's tremendous scenes. It is 3-1 to the Cambridge University Falcons versus the Oxford University Centaurs. That is the first time the Falcons have won. Just look at Sonny McPherson. He's run the length of the pitch. He's jumped in, tinny in hand. And no wonder the Falcons celebrate. This is the first time they've won this game, I think, for 3 years. And so that, for a lot of these boys, it's only ever been varsity pain, but that is a fantastic result. And it really sets us up nicely for next in the actual Blues varsity in a couple of weeks. We've had a fantastic day here. 2 Cambridge wins, 1 Cambridge loss. And you could argue the 2 games that matter more. I'm going to hand over to Josh for his closing remarks.
Wow, what a day we've had, Matt. I mean, it's been brilliant. We've seen 3 really good games. One started off the day with absolute devastation, but then ended the day with joy and an unexpected 3-1 victory for the Falcons. They weren't very good in the second half, I've got to be honest, but sometimes that is how football works. They get the rub of the green today. They got chances and they were clinical. Oxford got chances and they missed. And they deserved it. They battled hard. They fought well. They were really organized. And even when they lost concentration, Oxford weren't there to capitalize. But I think you and I, Matt, actually deserve a bit of a medal today as well. We've been talking for 7 hours today, watching 3 fantastic games of football. So well played to everyone and well done to you as well, Matt.
Thank you very much, Josh. I was just going to ask you if you could do the honour of presenting the Cam FM Man of the Match to one of the players on the pitch. I don't know whose performance stood out for you. My own personal remarks on a bit of analysis on that game. The Falcons did the job in the first half, in my opinion. They did the hard yards in the first half, the 2 clinical finishes from Dalton, the fantastic work on the right by Varsity to set up the first goal. That was what won this game. The second half, they did cruise. Oxford had their opportunities. As you can hear, the Oxford players being applauded by their fans just in front of us here. The Falcons are on the pitch with the Cambridge supporters, mostly who are a football club. But yeah, I think the Falcons did the job in the first half. And then the second half, that penalty killed the game. It could have been a nervy finish had that not happened, but that really sealed the deal. And it, just to reiterate, full time here at the Velocity Stadium, Oxford City Football Club. It is the Oxford University Centaurs 1, Cambridge University Falcons 3. Josh, your player of the match.
My player of the match, I mean, as you say, it was a game of moments where Cambridge played okay the whole game, but in those moments there was that spark and there was that brilliance. So I'd like to give it to Percy, but I think I have to give it to Joey Dalton. He's got the 2 goals ultimately. He was looking for his hat trick, and yeah, okay, he didn't run the entire match, but it's a game about being clinical in those moments, and that was the difference today. So my man of the match goes to Joey Dalton, and I hope he has a good night, and the players are applauding him as much as we are.
Fantastic. Well, I think we are going to wrap up our stream pretty soon now. All of the streams from today will be on the Cam FM YouTube, so you can watch. If you want to watch back any bits of commentary or relive any of the dramatic moments of the day. It's been a fantastic day of football. We had 3 great games, and they'll all be on the Cam FM website. If I may plug my own radio show, Lions Den is back on Monday, and following Josh on you've got AFT at full time. 3:30 till 4:30, followed by the Lions Den with myself and Angus Harron. We're interviewing Cambridge sports people every week with music and chat. I've thoroughly enjoyed my afternoon with you, Josh, so it's been a pleasure. And I thank anyone who's tuned in to the stream. It's been a very, very, very good day for Cambridge University sport and indeed football in general. And cheers to Alex S. You have a good night too, mate. We got a comment on the YouTube stream. What about that?
Fantastic.
So, we'll wrap up here, but thank you guys and cheers.